Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CIS program here at Sauk Valley Community College. This is a quick video on the TestOut lab sim environment that we'll be using in the CIS 151 and 167 courses. You can either purchase the TestOut code from the bookstore or directly from TestOut. If you do choose to go directly from TestOut, there is quite a significant cost saving there. If you are interested in that, the instructions are posted to the Canvas page on the main page. To get to the TestOut site, it's just testout.com. And if you have already made your account, go ahead and log in. If not, hit the sign up button. It'll go through some basic information, name, email address, etc. And most importantly, it'll ask for the code that printed on the receipt you would have gotten at the bookstore. If you got it directly from TestOut, the sign-up process is part of the checkout process. So go ahead and log into your account. A quick note here, my screen will look a little bit different than yours. You won't have the my school here. This is the teacher view. But if you go under My Products, you'll see any products that you have purchased. I'm just going to go into Network Pro for this demonstration. Network Pro correlates to 151. Okay, so in here, it's kind of simplified from what it used to be. It's actually a lot nicer than what it used to be. But to advance, you click on the arrow on the right. If you want to go back, you can go on the arrow on the left. But I don't particularly like navigating that way. It's a lot easier to go out to your course outline, and you can get to everything based on here. So on the left, you have all of your chapters. The introduction chapter is just a quick video and a couple labs on getting used to the environment. I do encourage you to do those. And then once you click into your chapters, you'll have more information. So if you see here on the right, you'll have your sections of the chapters in bold. And then under each section heading, you'll have your content. Anything that has this little media clip is actually a video of an online instructor going through the lectures with you. Facts are just some quick reading, and then you'll have quizzes. These quizzes are graded, and as soon as you hit submit, that grade is in the gradebook. One advantage I do allow my students is that you get unlimited tries. So I want you guys to learn this information, so if you want, you can redo these quizzes over and over and over again until you get 100%. Any other, there's none in this section. Any of the sections with a little mouse is a lab. You'll actually go into a simulated environment and work with simulated hardware. I'll show you that here in the Explored Labs and Lab. So if you go into any labs, it'll show you the scenario up at the top. Don't worry, this will carry over into the lab with you. You don't have to memorize what you have to do. But then always read these instructions and go into the lab. If you do get this, I'm glad this happened on the recording. If you do get this failing to load, make sure your pop-up blocker is off. So mine is on. And set to always allow pop-ups from TestOut. Hit OK, and then you will have to stop and then go back in. Once it goes, you'll see this yellow bar, and it's actually loading up the virtual equipment for you to use. Okay, the simulated environment has loaded. As you can see, it's kind of like a top view of an office. All right, so the scenario, it wants you to add a monitor next to the computer in Office 2. So go into Office 2 and click on Hardware. Once you click on hardware, it will load the simulated hardware, and it wants you to add a monitor with DVI-D cables, little monitors. And in this lab, there's only one choice for everything. As we go into the content and you're expected to start to know more and more, it will give you other options and you will have to select the correct options. So what I just did there is drug the monitor from the shelf to the workbench. You can drag and drop any components from the left over to the right. And then you can also control them. So this is the front view of the monitor. If you want to flip it around, just click the back, and it'll actually turn the simulated hardware around. And if you want to just look at it another angle, you can click the overview button. We're going to go to the back and select the cable. Once you've selected the cable, it shows up down at the bottom, and then it'll show you the ends. So grab the end you want to connect and drag it onto the screen. It'll plug itself in. And we're going to plug this into the back of the computer as well. If you notice the cable disappeared, it's because I selected a different component. To get that back, just click on the cable. Okay, so we have both ends of the cable plugged in. Now we need some power. Plug the power cable into the monitor. And plug the outlet into the outlet. Okay, so the monitor is all connected up. Okay, it also wants us to add a keyboard and mouse. So we're going to drag the keyboard on. It's kind of tricky when you're trying to get in. If you notice the yellow bars, that's when it's accepting it on the screen. Okay, so we have our keyboard and mouse on the workbench. Click on the keyboard. You're going to go back to the back view of the monitor. Connect the USB cable to the computer. And we're going to do the same with the mouse. Okay. Now this is what I think is a nice part about TestOut. It frustrates some students. I'm going to move this monitor over here just to see it a little bit better. The amount of detail that they put into these labs is quite impressive, and actually they put so much detail into it that it can actually trip up some students. So to a lot of students, this lab is done. The USB ports are plugged in, the keyboard and mouse are plugged in, and the monitor is plugged in. Should be done. However, the simulated environment actually goes as far as to simulate power. So you do actually have to turn on the computer, and you'll get a nice little error that says computer is on, but the monitor is not showing anything. That's because you actually have to turn on the monitor too. Okay. And now that the PC and the monitor are both on, you'll see that Windows did boot up. It's not required in this lab, but we're going to go into it anyway. So anytime you see click to view Windows 7, you actually click on the monitor, and it brings up a simulated Windows 7 environment. Again, there's nothing required in this lab, so there won't be a lot enabled, but it does have pretty much all the functionality of a Windows PC, but only the components that you need for the lab will be turned on. So again, kind of nice features of the lab. If you're ever in a lab and it requires you to be doing multiple things, you have breadcrumbs up at the top. So for this particular lab, we're on floor 1, office number 2, and then this icon with the Windows logo means we're actually in the desktop itself. If you go back 1 to office 2, it'll take you back to the simulated hardware. If you go back one more step, it'll take you all the way back out to the floor plan. If you click on the exhibits, it will give you a floor plan with the network layout. If you are completely lost and you've forgotten all the steps you've done and you just want a clean slate, but you don't want it to grade, um, you don't want a bad grade to enter in the grade book, hit the reset button. That will undo everything that you just did. And when you're done, just hit the done button. It will grade it. You'll get a progress or a lab report, and you'll get your score, the amount of time you spent on the lab, and the summary. The nice thing about the summary and the explanation, if you did not do anything wrong, it tells you basically exactly what you did. However, if you did miss a step, there would be a red X on one of these, and then down in the explanation, it would tell you what you did wrong. So you can print these out if you want. There's no real need to. Once you've finished the lab, you're pretty much done with it. But as soon as you hit that done button, it submits the grade to the gradebook. And just like the quizzes, you can redo the labs over and over again until you get your desired grade. So that's it for the lab sim itself. We're going to go back into our product selection. So anytime you need to get out of this kind of slideshow view, hit the home button, and it'll take you guys back to your landing page. If you have any messages, which CIS 167 will have some messages coming up soon. 167 is going to be updating soon, so keep a lookout for that. But that is TestOut in a nutshell. If you ever want to log off, just hit your name at the top and then log out, or you can just close the window. It will log you out.